Brazilian skate legend Sandro Dias is going to attempt to skate down the world's biggest ramp.
Tô animado, tô bem ansioso.
Sandro will work his way up this 88.9-meter building in a series of increasing heights, setting 2 world records and turning an urban myth into reality. Sandro will start from the bottom platform and work his way up the ramp as he redefines the limits of skateboarding.
High speed, G-force, obviously the height. Let's do this. Ha.
It's the moment we've all been waiting for. After the construction, after the training, the test runs, it's time. Sandro Dias is about to make history. Sandro's first attempt here on the world's largest ramp is going to be at 55 meters. So at the moment, Sandro Dias is making preparations for what will be his first drop. And this is going to be a tense time for skate fans all over the world, because as you can see, this building, this ramp is an absolute beast. 88 meters, 21 stories tall. The Red Bull building drop. I mean, we've seen glimpses of it. We've seen a couple snippets of some test runs that Sandro's been dropping. But now it's time. Now we all know Sandro is a complete legend in the world of skateboarding, but let's find out a little bit more about the one and only Sandro Dias. So Sandro, 50 years old, Santo André, Sao Paulo in Brazil. I mean, he's known for how high he flies on vert. He's a star of Mega. Just, again, an absolute all-around legend. Guys like Tony Hawk, Ryan Sheckler tout Sandro as one of the fastest skaters to ever do it, and a skater that's literally built for a stunt like this. Strong core, and the maturity, the veteran knowledge to know exactly what to expect when he makes his first attempt. It's going to be here in just under 12 minutes. So remember, 55 meters to start. And you can see on the building behind us, multiple areas, multiple stands for Sandro to drop in from. So he's already done a few test runs over the past few weeks. Yesterday's tests looked incredible. Today we're going to be climbing up this building and making these drops. So this ramp, this building is something that Sandro's been looking at since literally the 1980s when he was a youngster coming to Porto Alegre. He saw this architectural wonder, and as a child actually wondered, I wonder if that's skatable. Well, Sandro prepares for his first drop of the day. We're going to get some words from another legend of skateboarding, Tony Hawk.
I knew about that building after it got built because people kept taking photos of it and tagging me in social media. Like, Tony Hawk, you should skate this. And I mean, I thought it was funny and I didn't take it seriously. And then when I heard that Sandro was maybe going to drop in on it, it seemed unreal. It really seemed wild, because what's the biggest ramp that's ever been dropped in on? 30 feet? And now he's going to take that and triple it or whatever. I don't know. It's so big. I was surprised, but I feel like if anyone knows how to go fast on a ramp, it's Sandro.
A gente estava falando no off ali nos bastidores, né, Paulinho, que quando ele comentou contigo sobre esse projeto, ele já não falou, não perguntou se acharia interessante, ele já falou, não, vou fazer, e era isso, né, Paulinho? Boa tarde.
É isso aí, galera, exatamente. O Sandro já tinha essa proposição há anos, né? Passou pelo projeto da Ponte Estaiadinha em São Paulo, mas o pensamento estava aqui. E quando o Sandro comentou, eu acreditava até que ele estava conjecturando em colocar o projeto. Ele falou, não, vai acontecer. Estamos aqui, dia D, dia de Sandro Dias.
É isso aí. Antes de começar essa transmissão, eu acompanhei alguns testes que o Sandro Dias fez também. E ele parecia muito tranquilo e muito seguro, né? Ele foi adaptando o skate, tem uma adaptação diferente do skate para essas descidas, né, Paulinho? Como é que tu viu o Sandro Dias também? Conversou com ele nesses últimos dias também. Parece muito confiante, seguro do que está fazendo aqui, né?
A preparação, o Sandro nos deixou a par, ele veio passando para nós, é uma preparação vasta, tanto física, mental, quanto estudo, né? Foram vários estudos, o Sandro fez estudo de velocidade, estudo de força G, ele está mentalmente muito forte, super preparado, e o Sandro, eu conheço o Sandro desde 10 anos de idade, ele tem algo que é singular, é a determinação. Ele está determinado a quebrar recordes, a fazer história, e hoje é o dia do Sandro.
Aquela coisa, né, a gente olha daqui, né, a gente está no chão aqui, a gente olha esses 79 metros que tem da pista, já dá uma vertigem aqui, já dá aquele friozinho da barriga aqui, né? Imagina pro Sandro que vai fazer esses drops lá de cima, é sensacional, incrível, insano tudo isso, né?
Insano, né? Como você já mencionou, é algo que está no inconsciente coletivo dos skatistas, né, galera que pratica esportes radicais e, na verdade, no inconsciente de todo mundo aqui de Porto Alegre, do Rio Grande do Sul e de todos os brasileiros que aqui estiveram. Mas é algo surreal, galera. Eu acho que as imagens mostram, né, já falam quão grande é esse feito. Como você falou, a gente fica aqui só de olhar, a gente já fica com vertigem. E é isso, né? O Sandro está aqui para quebrar recordes, seja de velocidade, seja de drop em altura num quarter pipe. Então aqui torcendo e já vai rolar.
É isso, Serginho, Geninho, o pessoal que está nos acompanhando. A gente vai circulando, a gente está falando do lado da pista, daqui a pouco a gente vai estar lá na parte interna também, depois lá no terraço, conversar com a galera que está na volta aqui, né? A gente não mostra agora, mas a galera está na volta já, só com o pescocinho levantado lá para cima para ver o Mineirinho descer daqui a pouco. A gente vai trazer todos os detalhes, os bastidores aí desses drops que o Mineirinho vai fazer durante essa tarde aqui em Porto Alegre, Serginho.
Na verdade, no primeiro momento, quando eu pensei nesse projeto, eu sempre pensava assim, monta lá a rampa que eu vou lá e dropa. É porque eu faço isso há 40 anos, então até então eu não via muito problema para fazer isso, até que a gente fez todo o estudo técnico do que realmente representaria um drop de uma altura como essa, ou das alturas como essa, né, que vai ser gradual. E a gente sempre se baseou na altura no ponto mais alto do prédio, né? Quando colocou tudo tudo num momento só, velocidade, força G, altura, enfim, eu vi que as coisas são um pouco mais diferentes, né? Nesse mesmo dia do teste, do dia 7,
Well, as the countdown clock runs down, we've got just over 5 minutes till Sandro's first attempt. So as he makes his way to the roof of the building, let's hear from another legend, Ryan Sheckler.
One, I know he can do it. You know, he's, you know, I've been watching Sandro skate since I was 12 years old, 13 years old, when I started entering into pro contests. Even before that, I would see him at the events. So I know his power. I know how strong he is. I know how strong his core and his legs are. So like, that's definitely gonna play a huge part in this stunt. I'm calling this a stunt, you know? This is not even a trick. This is like, a lot can go south on this, but I know how calculated he is, and I know that he's gonna do everything that needs to be done to make sure that it's correct.
What you're seeing now are training shots from Sandro Dias's just early test runs, early training runs. He actually trained in a 40-kilogram vest on a modified Megaramp just to get used to the G-forces that his body will need to handle when he reaches these speeds. I mean, literally never before speeds on a ramp. For Sandro, who's already broken multiple world records, he's going to attempt to break his own world record today. And another cool element of what we're going to see is Sandro's board. I mean, this isn't a custom-built board specifically for this stunt. I mean, this is a board that Sandro would ride on a day-to-day session. It's a board that, you know, you could go get at your local skate shop. That's another thing that just makes Sandro so gnarly. This is, I believe he's riding 60mm wheels. You know, it's fairly wide, a wider board, but nothing that you wouldn't see at a, you know, vert event somewhere around the world. And Sandro, whose training is otherworldly, like nothing we've ever seen before. He's already hit 136 kilometers per hour, getting towed in behind a hot rod, basically. So he's been training to hit speeds that he's never hit before, that really no other skater who's dropped into a ramp has hit before. So again, multiple world records most likely be reached today. And thinking that Sandro probably be breaking that 90.8 kilometers per hour. And this ramp, this is 3 times as big as any other skate ramp that's ever been made. So this existing building, the architect must have had a skate dream, or must have been a skater himself, because this thing was built like a quarter pipe. So speed training is huge for Sandro Dias, who knew that he was going to be going faster than he had ever gone on a skateboard before. And as you see here, we got the Red Bull Racing Porsche, who's towing Sandro wakeboard style into these airbags. So the initial tests, just to get warmed up on, 40 kilometers per hour. And things escalated from there. And as you can see, I mean, this preparation, this is nothing like we've ever seen in skateboarding before. And yeah, the road rash is real. Sandro went through a lot of different outfits in his training regimen. And yes, we did need a airport tarmac to achieve these tests. 125 kilometers per hour. And now, any second, Sandro will emerge on the top of this building. Looks like conditions are perfect to break some records here today. Porto Alegre. And this town has really been celebrating what's about to happen. And here we go. There's Sandro. Looking calm, cool, collected. There you see a image of the board, which will be lowered down via rope. Sandro gearing up. So he'll actually be rappelling down from the roof, the 55-meter mark, for his first drop-in attempt. So this ramp retrofitted for this stunt. The world holds our collective breaths. Sandro rappels down. His first attempt will be 55 meters, approximately 180 feet. So as he rappels down, his skateboard will be lowered to him for his first drop-in point. Flawless first drop. Light work for Sandro Dias. So that first drop was 55 meters, 180 plus feet, so approximately 10 to 12 stories. I remember we're just going up from here. I mean, you saw the control, almost looked effortless. I can't even imagine what it would look like as you saw Sandro looking out towards just into oblivion, and then presses down in his front foot, and the first effort was absolutely perfect. Speed reached on the first attempt was 82 kilometers per hour. And so now the process is we rebuild the crash blocks at the end of this ramp. Sandro makes his way back up to the top of the building, and then he'll rappel down. We take off that first drop-in point to give Sandro a clear path. Let's take a look. Remember, 82 kilometers per hour on that first drop. No wobble, nice and smooth. Total control. Sandro Dias. And this is what Ryan Sheckler was talking about in the lead up, just saying how well prepared Sandro is. His core strength, I mean, you see everything was in its proper place there. Good look at his skateboard. So some wider trucks, bigger wheels. Maybe it's not what you would see at your average skate park, but nothing you can't go buy at your local skate shop. Not that we're saying you should buy a Sandro Dias skateboard and try to attempt a drop like this. This took years, decades of preparation. Sandro testing a bunch of different setups, trying to figure out which one would be suitable for a record-breaking skate stunt like this. Friends and family stoked. So far, so good. Sandro Dias. as Sandro physically, mentally resets himself for his next drop. You just seen our team remove the 55-meter drop-in point. So Sandro will be moving up to 60 meters, approximately 197 feet. Yes, this is somewhat of a math test today. Let's just say he's about to go even bigger. And we will reset the crash pad at the end of the ramp. It's a series of foam blocks, airbags, basically everything you need to stop a skater who's traveling over 82 kilometers per hour. So on the first drop, he reached that 82 kilometers per hour mark, again approximately 51 miles per hour, which that's light work for Sandro. In his test runs, he went 136 kilometers per hour. It's 85 miles per hour, so basically double the speed that he reached on his first drop in, which was absolutely flawless. Another cool story behind the Red Bull building drop is this is actually a government building, so it's a miracle that we got permission to even do this. Now, the ramp you're seeing now, as you can see, I mean, this is by no means a perfect transition. Mike Burnett from Thrasher Magazine was calling this more of a kind of a China Bank style drop, referencing the famous skate spot in San Francisco. If you saw a Megaramp drop in, you know it's much more of a smooth curve. You see here, it's got near vert at the top and this extended middle portion, and then an abrupt bottom curve, and then kind of this slight uphill out ramp. So not built for skateboarding, but retrofitted for skateboarding. Underneath the surface you're seeing now is cement that was kind of gnarled up, chewed up by the elements. But the Red Bull team took about a month to prepare all the parts and installed this ramp. Centro Administrativo Nada Ferrari in Porto Alegre, Brazil. So basically this is wood on top of cement. No over perfection of the actual curve. This is as the architect designed it back in the day. You know, Sandro citing that as a child, and as many skater kids in Brazil probably did when they looked up and saw this building, they fantasized about what it would be like, you know, if somebody was brave enough to attempt something like this. And of course, no one was for decades until now. The actual stunt that we're seeing today, about 13 years in the making. You know, leave it to Sandro Dias to be the one human being to look at this building and think, you know what, I think I can actually do this. And a plan was put into motion. Of course, not taking anything lightly. Sandro went straight to work. So the build itself, a huge feat. So you can see the bottom portion, massive scaffolding being put in to give Sandro somewhere to have a runoff. Pretty cool. You can see these layers go up. This took about a month. And again, thanks to all the local officials that heard this wild idea and said yes. Couldn't have done it without them. And couldn't have done it without our incredible team, who not only built this gargantuan, world's largest skate ramp, but also made it look pretty cool. So we're gonna start our countdown to the next drop. Somewhere in this picture, Sandro Dias is in an elevator going 21 floors up to the roof. So in about 17 and a half minutes, Sandro's next attempt will be 60 meters. And I'm no mathematician, but 60 meters, roughly 197 feet. So if Sandro was going 82 kilometers per hour, 51 miles per hour in his initial drop, well, we'll see if there's any physics enthusiasts out there. Maybe you could make some guesses as to how fast Sandro will be going on his next drop. He was wearing a weighted vest in early trial runs, and Red Bull actually put Sandro up in one of their stunt planes to show him what the G-forces would be like on this drop. And I mean, when you think of skateboarding, you don't think of words like G-forces. You don't think of numbers like 138 kilometers per hour. And you don't usually see safety measures like this in place at skateboarding events. That's because this is a one-of-a-kind event, never been done. The ultimate NBD in skating. Leading up to this event, so if you've been paying attention, if you're engaged, we did ask our audience how many cubes are being used to stop Sandro, and the answer is over 1,000 cubes. 1,800 cubes. So that's how many foam cubes it takes to stop a skater who could potentially be going over 100 kilometers per hour. So you see the cubes are the first line of defense, and then there's an airbag behind the cubes. We're going to be testing the limits of that stopping system, which basically had to be invented for this stunt. And it's pretty wild if you look at the numbers on paper, right? The first drop, 55 meters. Second drop, 60 meters. Trust us when we say that's a big difference. And as Sandro makes his way back to the top of the roof, here's a clip about this custom-built airbag.
Damn, that was heavy. When it's coming close, let me go.
Yeah, looks like fun for Sandro. I don't think the rest of us would want to fly into that airbag. I mean, those initial tests, right? The 40 kilometers per hour, 50 kilometers per hour, made a loud thud. So it's not as friendly an airbag as you would think, but all the safety precautions well thought out in advance, as per usual. So you see the flag flying on top of the building, our wind speeds, our temperatures, everything is exactly how we would want it. And I can't even imagine what would be going on in Sandro's mind. I mean, these elevator rides he's taking have to be the most interesting elevator rides of his life. Through all the trial runs, through all the preparation and the training, Sandro going from 30 to 40 to 50 meters. But just knowing that today could be the day that he not only breaks world records, but breaks his own records. So any second now, we're going to see Sandro, and here we go. Sandro's back. So the next attempt will be 60 meters. And Sandro is just chilling too. I mean, obviously no signs of fear. Well prepared. You know, the gear he has on is, other than the helmet, which you wouldn't necessarily see a skater wearing a helmet like that in a Megaramp contest or a vert event, but other than that custom-built helmet, just standard knee pads, elbow pads, same thing that Sandro would be wearing you know, competing in a major skate event anywhere around the world. Sandro at 50 years old, a veteran and still ripping as hard as ever. I mean, this is a guy who's competed against the best of the best. Tony Hawk, Bucky Lasek. And while Sandro does make this look very easy, like anything in skateboarding, there will be slams. And Sandro's had a couple of beatings in his earlier attempts. And there was no blueprint, there was no videos that he could watch or study to figure out the best ways to do this, because he's the first to ever do this. Imagine he's taking some deep breaths, preparing. This is a man on a mission. Crew giving Sandro space to prepare. This is where over 4 decades of skate history, 4+ decades of skate history come into play. Second attempt will be 60 meters, approximately 197 feet. First time I've ever seen a skater actually have to rappel to his drop-in spot. So it takes him about 2.5 minutes to rappel down the next drop-in spot. Good thing he's got skate shoes on, sticking to that masonite, sticking to that wood ramp. Something that he's definitely comfortable with. His partner there carrying the board for him. Not many companies in the world would listen when their rider says, "Hey, I want to drop into a building." Red Bull listened, and boom, here we go. So rappelling down to that 60-meter drop-in. And I love that we have 2 more drop-in spots above the drop that we're about to see. Just builds the anticipation. And gosh, that angle is intense. A huge crowd, Porto Alegre. Brazil has some of the best action sports fan base in the world. They love their skateboarding, and they love their heroes like Sandro Dias. The city has just been absolutely alive. Skateboarding reigns supreme in Porto Alegre. I would say for the past, month, just in terms of the excitement levels that we're building as this ramp was being constructed, as we started to see glimpses on social media of what was happening here. And there you hear the crowd going wild. And Sandro hears that, fueling his fire. Red Bull building drop, the talk of not just Brazil, not just the USA, the talk of the entirety of the skate world. Final preparations, mental, physical, I'm sure the spiritual as well. Sandro about to attempt 60 feet, 60 meters. 60 meters, done and dusted, no problem for Sandro Dias. Everything in perfect control there. You see the stoke, you see the relief, you see the excitement from Sandro Dias. And this angle is just incredible. I mean, this gives you a really good look at the scale that Sandro Dias is dealing with now. So the last run, 85 kilometers per hour. High speeds. So at 85 kilometers per hour, in order to break the world record, looking at 95.8 kilometers per hour. 90.8 kilometers per hour. So the person that Sandro's chasing to break that world record is himself, Sandro Dias, already holding the world speed record on quarter pipe like this. So 90.8 is the benchmark he's looking to break. Action hero right here. What a moment. Sandro Dias in front of the home crowd. This is a casual drop-in right there that I'd say 99% of skaters in the world, myself included, would be very nervous to even attempt to look at. So a gear reset. We rebuild our foam wall. 1,800 bricks, most of them need to be put back in place. Airbag needs to be reset because with more meters comes more speed. So we're going to bump up 5 more meters to 65 meters. So looking at the 60-meter attempt, or the 60-meter completion that Sandro just achieved. Bumping that up to 65 meters, we're looking at around 213 feet. So even though it seems incremental, 5 more meters is definitely impactful. So where were you on September 7th when Sandro Dias broke the world record, 64.04 meters? An incredible feat, which we're potentially going to see broken momentarily. The 65-meter mark will be a new world record. So Sandro's next step in breaking his own world record, 65 meters. So we saw some training clips where Sandro reached that 64.04 meter mark. And I love that there was kind of a shroud of mystery around it as well. You know, we did have official representation from the Guinness Book of World Records on hand, watching and recording. So that record's in the books. But records, as we all know, were meant to be broken. Look at this guy. He's just having another skate session with his friends. Smiling, preparing for a record-breaking drop here at the Red Bull building drop. Next attempt will be 65 meters. 213 plus feet. So again, Here's how it works. We reset the stopping pads and the airbag. Make sure everything there is ready for Sandro to come flying into it like a freight train. Sandro grabs his board, heads into the building, up the elevator, back to the roof, where his support crew will hand him his helmet, hand him his board, and we could potentially see a world record drop in here just in a few moments. So if you want to know what it's like to break a world record, to drop in from 64.04 meters, you're about to see it. This is from Sandro Dias's GoPro mounted on its Red Bull helmet. So fasten your seatbelts. You're in for it. Here we go.
Vai tomar no cu! Vai, caralho! Caraca, mineiro! Segura! Respira! Caralho! Sim, pode começar.
So parabéns, congratulations already. Sandro Dias, who holds the world record for highest drop in on a quarter pipe, 64.04 meters. So in just under 18 minutes, we're about to witness history, or at least a historic attempt. Sandro going up to the 65-meter mark, roughly 213 feet. And by no means is Sandro attempting these stunts alone. Incredible team behind him. And in the lead up, actually worked with yet another legend, Megaramp. Megaramp. Best advice to Sandro Dias, be one with the ramp. They teamed up for an epic collab video. Each of them actually bench pressing each other. So of course, support coming in from all over the world, including our next special guest, Tony Hawk.
I see this as one of the biggest stunts that's ever been done. Along the lines of when Danny Way started doing all the Megaramp stuff, but this is way beyond that, and I mean, it's going to be historic.
Corda azul escura, pode puxar. Vai, pode puxar.
So when Tony Hawk says something's going to be historic, I believe him. A few facts Got the board that Sandro's riding. So he's got those 60mm Bones wheels, shielded NSK bearings, 215 Indy trucks, the Megadeck Napalm shape. And again, this is all stuff that you can buy at a skate shop. And the tools being used, the wood being used for this ramp, the screws, the drills, these are all skateboarding specific things. It's not like we're reinventing the wheel here. These are all things that you would find at a skate park, obviously on a different scale. And the fact that Sandro's pretty much riding standard board is pretty gnarly. Remember, years preparation, decades going into this, and Sandro knowing full well the ramifications. So he has been preparing in a hardcore way for this. And he did test a couple different setups. I don't think he was quite riding the standard popsicle stick, you know, 825 that we would be riding at our local skate park. Everything a little bit more specialized for what he's attempting today. But again, things you can get at your local skate park. You could go into the skate shop and ask for 60mm Bones wheels. Will you drop in on a building with them? That's up to you. Personally, I'm gonna leave that up to Sandro. So a lot happening on social media and in the skate world leading up. See Sandro taking stock of all his skate gear in his garage, looking at different wheels, looking at different setups. So he makes his way up. Did see Mike Burnett along with Neckface from Thrasher magazine. They were on hand as Sandro did the first couple of attempts and some test runs. And Mike Burnett, capturing some of the action early on, was talking to Sandro about, you know, what's at stake here. Cool video you can watch Thrasher now. And I love that Sandro's quote to Thrasher was, you know, when asked how he was going to celebrate these achievements, what's he going to do after today? He said, you know, I'm definitely going to celebrate a little bit, but then I'm just going to have a normal skate session. So I like that. No, no record-breaking attempts. Sandro's going to go skate probably the vert ramp near his house and just cruise around for a little bit, and he would have earned it. If anyone earned a little staycation or just a standard skate session with the homies, it's Sandro after today. I mean, obviously the physical toll that he's facing is intense, but then you think about, you know, the mental challenges that he's had to overcome, the fear he's had to overcome. I mean, he's not showing us any signs of fear or nervousness at all, but while he is a superhero, Sandro still is a human being. And everything is scary about what he's attempting today. And I love that part of his training was to skate around in a 40-kilogram vest. That's heavy. That's like having your homie, you know, on your back. So he was skating on the previous highest ramp ever skated, a giant Megaramp. So you can imagine dropping in to a huge Megaramp with one of your friends on your back with his arms wrapped around your shoulders. Again, not saying you should attempt that, but that's what it'd be like, the 40-kilogram vest on. And basically that was, you know, Sandro's way of figuring out, of learning how to deal with the G-forces that he's facing. The initial part of the drop where he's basically over vert going straight down, I mean, that's the speed element. And then the training with the weights and the G-forces really start to come in when he hits the bottom of the transition, which is going to be coming at him quick. Over 80 kilometers per hour. Now, if he does reach the speed of 90.8 kilometers per hour, that would be a new world record. So far, it's been perfect for Sandro Dias. And if anyone out there is, you know, dropped into their driveway or dropped into a decent-sized hill, you know the phrase, speed wobbles. And I'm reticent in even saying that because speed wobbles are probably one of the scariest feelings in all of skateboarding. And if you've done it for long enough, you've felt them. And overcoming speed wobbles is really hard to do. It's really scary when it happens to you. So you can imagine when you're going over 85 kilometers per hour, maintaining control, paramount. And he's riding, you know, a wider but standard pair, independent trucks. So nothing custom made for this stunt. And I love what we've been hearing from the legends of skateboarding, like Ryan Sheckler, like Tony Hawk. So this ramp's just not just bigger than most ramps, it's 3 times bigger than any other ramp ever made. So if we want to kind of put ourselves in the mind of Sandro Dias, he first saw this building in the 80s as a little skate rat cruising around Porto Alegre. And I'm sure like many kids of that era, looking up and, you know, seeing this building, the architect made the ultimate skate ramp. And this was something that now Sandro, 50 years old, has been dreaming about since he was a kid. You know, we've seen recreations of this building in fingerboard sets. We've seen viral YouTube videos that, you know, kind of have this fantasy view of what it would be like. Well, now we're seeing it in reality. It's happening. Tony Hawk's quote about countless people sending him photos of this building for years and years, and Tony's going, okay, that's cool looking. I don't want any part of that. Sandro Dias sees those pictures and thinks, let me talk to my friends at Red Bull. Sandro taking the long walk to the top. Next attempt will be 65 meters. A world record attempt coming right up. So the building itself is 88.91 meters, 291.7 feet, 22 floors. The ramp itself is 3 times larger than any other ramp ever built, 79.19 meters. It's 259 feet. So take a football field, put it on its side, stand on top of it and look down. That's what Sandro sees as he prepares to drop in. It looks like our foam blocks are back in place. So if you've ever been to, you know, a skate park that has a foam pit, it's basically what those foam blocks are, same type of material. Different use today. It's like a giant catcher's mitt for Sandro to jump into at high speed. We do have a huge crowd on hand at the bottom of the ramp. They're probably getting sore necks by now looking up what Sandro's seeing. There's our crowd. So all the roads around the building filling up with people. I was about to say the roads are closed, but there goes the bus. People in the bus are going, what's going on? Why is there a man on top of that building with a skateboard? It truly is kind of like a Spider-Man type of situation. And you look up on the building, and about the size of an ant. We're about 5 minutes till a potential world record here at Red Bull building drop. Sandro Dias about to attempt a drop at 65 meters, which will be a new world record. He set the previous record on September 7th. Today, September 25th. It's about almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Porto Alegre. So from wherever you're watching, I want to welcome you to Red Bull building drop. So we're a meter-ish above the current standing world record. So right now, Sandro is in the elevator. And in about a minute and a half, we're going to see Sandro emerge through this doorway. All kinds of safety equipment on top of the roof, multiple climbers rappelling up and down, putting ramps on, taking ramps off, bringing skateboards to Sandro. Porto Alegre flag showing us the wind conditions. It's by no means, you know, super calm wind-wise. The Red Bull windsock there showing us that the breeze is stiffening. I wonder if people are working in the office today, taking a break from their government job to look out the window and see Sandro Dias flying down this ramp. In an earlier interview, Sandro was mentioning that he was kind of blown away, shocked that government gave us permission to attempt a stunt like this, of this magnitude, but that just shows you that Brazil loves skateboarding. And skateboarding loves Brazil right back. Multiple world champions, street, vert, park, coming from Brazil. Some incredible pockets of talent all over the country of Brazil. Some of the greatest skaters to ever do it coming out of Brazil. Sandro Dias, one of the skaters that really paved the way for professional skateboarders coming out of Brazil to compete in the USA, in Australia, all over Europe. So literally kicked down the door and kind of opened the floodgates for skaters who have risen to the top of their field in skateboarding. There he is. So this is it, folks. This could be a world record run from Sandro Dias. I'm sure representatives from the Guinness Book of World Records watching closely. Sandro goes into his pre-drop preparations. Not changing anything in the routine. Grabs the Red Bull helmet. Straps on. It's kind of his personal owned final safety checks. So far his clothes are nice and clean. He hasn't had to slide on his knee pads. First two drops, flawless. This one's even higher, 65 meters. So he had to do several attempts at the 64.4 meter mark. And that's where we saw some of those radical wipeouts, some hardcore slams. But you know, I think with every drop, you know, Sandro, who's just a brilliant mind in the world of skateboarding, definitely learns from every single drop he takes. So a 65 meter drop, it's about 213 feet. We all could collectively see a world record just a few minutes here, live from Porto Alegre. Beautiful country of Brazil. And if you're in the chat right now, let us know how you're watching, where you're watching from. What do you think is going to happen? How fast do you think Sandro is going to go? Crowd on hand is hyped. A moment of zen before the chaos. So not only could Sandro break that height world record, but also the speed world record. 90.8 kilometers per hour is what we're looking for here, speed-wise. We're reaching new levels in skateboarding right now, literally. Just a casual walk up to the world's largest skateboard ramp. And adding to the safety gear, to the knee pads, the elbow pads, the wrist guards that Sandro's wearing, he's skating with that harness on, so he hasn't been taking that harness off and on between drops. Just add a little bit of difficulty to a very difficult, intense situation, the ultimate NBD in skating. NBD meaning never been done. Probably never even been thought of until now. So the rappel down is getting shorter, so there is good news. It's a shorter rappel, but that equals a higher drop. 65 meters, 213 plus feet. Sandro Dias attempting a new world record. So as the world watches, Sandro Dias making his way down. You see all the other heights, all those other ramps, all those other drop-in points are put to the side, screwed into place. And now, history in the making. This is imagination becoming reality. So here has to be one of the scariest parts, as Sandro unclips from his climbing rope. And then it's just Sandro versus the drop. 65 meters. Previous world record, 64.4 meters, set by Sandro Dias. And here we go, skate world. Wherever you're watching this from, go ahead and cheer. Let the neighbors hear how excited, how hyped you are for what we're about to see. The world record attempt for Sandro Dias. You're at Red Bull Building Drop. Stunning visuals from all angles. And now we have confirmation. Sandro Dias with a new world record. 65 meters on a skateboard. The ultimate drop-in from the world's largest ramp. Sandro Dias makes history. Porto Alegre, Brazil, with a 65-meter drop-in. An incredible feat, skateboarding, reaching new heights. The congratulations from friends, family, and from the world. We've just witnessed one of the most incredible things we've ever seen in the world of skateboarding. And that right there was perfection. I mean, from start to finish, when the wheels hit the ramp, everything worked perfectly for Sandro Dias. What a moment. Definitely earned himself a nice cold Red Bull right there. And the celebration begins. A new world record in the books. Lock it in, Sandro Dias. A 65-meter drop over 213 feet. Parabéns. Literally making his dream come true. Since the 80s, as a kid when Sandro first set eyes on this building, all the way till now. September 25th, 2025. We all saw it. We witnessed it. Sandro Dias, the new world record. Breaking the record he set back on September 7th.
Vamos.
Yeah, but I need to understand was stable for here.
It was a little bit shaky, but
yeah, a little bit. But comparing to the other.
Sandro having a much earned moment of reflection, letting it all kind of just soak in what he's just achieved.
he was down because of the storm.
Gathering his gear, making his way back to the pit crew.
Mas não comparo com.
Decades of planning, 10 months actual preparation to put this plan in motion.
No, in the last one you were a little bit higher than more up.
I'd love to see that smile from Sandro as he sees his first look, what he's just done. Hundreds of people involved, hundreds of highly skilled craftspeople building this ramp,
No, here you have comparing the other one.
getting permissions from the government, camera crews, all on point. As you see that drone angle of a record-breaking drop, Sandro Dias at Red Bull building drop. Going where no skater's ever gone before. this moment right here, that's the moment of compression that Sandro trained so hard leading up to these attempts, just to be able to withstand the G-forces his body's going through. I mean, other than the safety equipment, the knee pads, the wrist guards, you know, the gear he's wearing, this is just man versus incredible forces of nature. Multiple G-forces. Training with the weighted vest, training in the Red Bull airplane, getting towed behind a Red Bull race car. So in the test run, Sandro's highest speed was 136 kilometers per hour, so roughly 85 miles per hour. So nearly 10 years of mental, physical preparation, getting the right gear together, and then 10 months. And we're just getting word. Your wishes are coming true, folks. Sandro Dias will attempt a 70-meter drop here at Red Bull building drop. We just witnessed history. Well, guess what? History is about to be rewritten by Sandro Dias, who has just confirmed he's going back to the top of this building for a 70-meter attempt. One final boss. And if you've got your calculators out, so if we were looking at 70 meters, translate to around 230 feet all the way to the top, the highest possible drop-in point. So you have just under 20 minutes to prepare yourselves for what we're about to see. I mean, we've known Sandro Dias to go big in the past. We've seen his runs on vert, we've seen him skate mega, but this is literally taking skateboarding to a new level. 70 meters, 230 feet. Dropping into a building. These are measurements, these are words that never thought anybody would be saying in the realm of skateboarding. And thank you to everybody who's involved in the chat, who's watching now, cheering for Sandro, asking, will you do it? Will you step up to that next level? Sandro answers with a resounding yes. So now we're entering uncharted territory. Previous record, 64.04 meters. Just broken the 65-meter mark. So 5 more meters added on. So we remove the 65-meter platform here, put that off to the side, and no one knows if this is even possible on a skateboard. 70 meters. The record has just been broken, but will it be shattered? 70-meter drop-in attempt. About to go down, confirmed by Sandro Dias himself. I'm sure there is shock and awe in the crowd right now. So we just saw the world record broken. This is a bonus. So every additional attempt adds significant G-forces, obviously higher speeds, more of an impact when he hits that foam block airbag. So everything is magnified now. So if you've been watching, you've seen 55-meter mark light work for Sandro Dias. He makes it look so easy, and trust us, this is a near impossibility. There's a reason why only one human being has even attempted anything like this. So in the last two attempts, we saw just increasing G-forces, much more pressure as Sandro reaches the flat bottom. That's the critical area that we've had our eyes on these drops. We saw on the 65-meter record-breaking drop, just an escalation in the physical forces that Sandro has to overcome to ride out from these drops. And give it up to our construction crew here. I mean, these guys are fearless themselves. They're literally building and unbuilding ramps on the side of a building, 65 meters up. So this bottom ramp will be moved over. That top ramp right there, 70 meters. This is a job I don't think many of us would want. Talk about fearless. So custom built drop-in platforms. 1,800 foam blocks being put back into place. And you see with every drop as well, the impact in the foam blocks and the airbag. I mean, those foam blocks are now everywhere. They were a little bit tighter on the first couple drops, and now with that last one, Sandro's slamming into those foam blocks and the airbag, just causing that complete destruction of our catcher's mitt. And there you have it, the 65-meter drop-in ramp being moved over to the side. That leaves one place to go. That's up 70 meters. Again, shows you the scale of what Sandro is working with here today. Crew taking their time, putting these foam blocks back together as they should. So Sandro has had multiple Hall of Fame careers in his long skateboarding life. You know, he was one of the skaters that not only helped popularize skateboarding in Brazil and inspired a whole new generation of skaters, but popularized skateboarding on a global scale. You know, he's giving back as well via the Sandro Dias Institute. Provides free access to skateboarding for young people in vulnerable positions. So yeah, he's a hero on his board, but he's a hero off his board as well. Not only trying to spread skateboarding through his actions, but also, you know, what he does behind the scenes, giving kids in need, you know, something to do to try to break through to the next level. And Sandro Dias, recognized as the king of the 540. You know, a lot of skaters, most pro vert skaters, if not all, can do their version of a 540. And there's great 540s out there. Sandro's, they're just a little bit higher. They're just different. I mean, anyone from Tony Hawk to Sheckler to pretty much every top level skater around the world will tell you that Sandro Dias makes a 540 his own each and every time he does it. He's also the first Brazilian to land that elusive 900 and the first skater in the world to land a 900 in a contest. You know, Tony Hawk did it after time in the best trick event. Back in the day, it was and still is an incredible feat. One of the greatest tricks ever done. Sandro was the first guy to kind of bring those into his contest runs, which is just baffles the mind. 2006, Sandro clinched gold at X Games 12. And in 2012, nominated for the Action Sports Hall of Fame. He should be in all the Halls of Fame. The human being Halls of Fame, the skateboarding Halls of Fame, he should be in all of them. He is just an absolute legend and icon in the sport of skating. And if you've ever had the chance, which a lot of us have because he's been doing this for a long time now, to see Sandro skate proper vert ramp in person, it is incredible. He just seems to fly a little bit higher, spin a little bit harder. And there's a reason why he's had such a long, illustrious career. Just receiving word, 10 minutes. We've got inside of 10 minutes to go for an attempt that could shatter the previously held world record. Right now, the world record stands at 65 meters. And it's pretty amazing, pretty unbelievable that we all get to witness not just one world record broken, two in the span of, what, about an hour? It's just about 1 p.m. in Porto Alegre, Brazil. Wherever you're watching the world, if you stayed up late to watch, thank you. If you got up early to watch, thank you too. 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, all eyes about to be on Sandro Dias. At the moment, he's most likely in the lobby of this building. You just press the up button on the elevator. It's gotta feel like the longest elevator ride of his life as he now takes a trip all the way to the roof. And one more time, will rappel down to a 70-meter high drop-in platform for what could be another record-breaking attempt. Another world record, potentially, by Sandro Dias. Checking his board, checking his wheels. "50 years old, veteran, vert skating, Megaramp skating. And we know there are legends and icons watching from all over the world. And our radar guns have just informed us another world record broken by Sandro Dias, 95 kilometers per hour on that 65-meter drop. So again, making history right in front of our eyes. Sandro Dias has done it again. 2 entries in the Guinness Book of World Records. Yeah, you heard that right. 95 kilometers per hour. A brand new world record. Just a superhero of skateboarding. Let's watch it one more time. The speed check here, 95 kilometers per hour. And he knows what it feels like. He reached 136 kilometers per hour in his test runs, but this right here, for a skater dropping into a ramp, go 95 kilometers per hour. It's a new world record, folks. High speeds, incredible heights reached today already, and one more drop to come. It would be just incredible to go into the mind of Sandro Dias and find out what he's thinking. I'm sure media on a global scale will be covering what we've witnessed today. And there you have it. That is your new world record, 95 kilometers per hour. Straight into a foam block wall with an airbag backing it up. Somewhere in that building, Sandro Dias riding an elevator to the top. One more look. So he's not in the elevator yet. He's just taking one more look at his next level, the end boss here at Red Bull Building Drop. We've extended our countdown timer just a little bit. I mean, of course, cut the guy some slack. He's already broken 2 world records today. So as Sandro now prepares, we wait to see what happens next. A world record shattering 70-meter drop. And here we have it. Final preparations. Hear the crowd on hand, going wild. Checking those bones wheels, 60-millimeter bones wheels. Checking the bearings, checking the trucks. Getting into the zone. Literally walking towards what could potentially be another historic drop. He's already set 2 world records by completing the tallest skateboard drop and the fastest speed skateboarding on a temporary quarter pipe. It's funny when you see those words on paper, they really don't capture the magnitude of what we've just seen. And these are visions that will no doubt be shared and spread all over the world. So we're going to see a succession of drops. Just a 55-meter warm-up. Just making it look so easy there, nice and smooth. So that was Sandro's first drop of the day. And not only, I mean, from these heights, again, the mental, the physical, spiritual toll that these drops are taking. That's the 60-meter drop, and you could see as he made just that transition into the flat bottom, things start to get really intense, a lot of pressure, physical forces, having to utilize all his strength to just stay standing, stay strong on his board. There's your record-breaking 65-meter drop. And right there, the apex of the speed. Crew, so hyped. Earned himself an ice-cold Red Bull. And now he makes his way potentially again into the history books. Already 2 world records broken today. So you would have to think, right, with the added height comes added speed. So he just broke 2 world records with 1 drop. He could do that again with this 70-meter drop. There's the crew on hand, watching what's unfolded in front of them. They've seen this ramp being built over the past 10 months, hype building around the world. Somewhere in that crowd, there's Skate Rat watching, thinking, huh, I wonder if I'll be next. I mean, we don't even know if it's possible to drop in from 70 meters. No one's ever even come close until today. So wherever you're watching from out there, get involved. Tell us what you think's about to happen. Give Sandro some words of affirmation. Hype him up as he makes his way up to the top of the roof for one more attempt at 70 meters. A potential double record-breaking drop coming up in just a few moments. Again, Sandro telling us that this is in fact a government building There's probably some ledges and some stairs and rails out front that skaters have been getting kicked out of for years. Today, skateboarding owns the world. So as we wait for Sandro Dias to make his way to the roof, let's talk to Tony Hawk one more time about progression in skateboarding.
I think moments like these are what keep pushing us forward and trying to test the limits of what's really possible and what is humanly possible, especially on a skateboard. But if you look at the history of skateboarding, it continues to progress. It continues to keep getting better. We keep pushing the limits of height, of speed, and now Sandro is going to jump ahead about 5 times everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, Birdman said it. Sandro breaking barriers over the past few weeks, and of course today. I mean, this could be an untouchable record for forever. Hundreds of, I mean, nobody even thought of anything like this until now. Red Bull building drop. So far, so good. Sandro. Three perfect attempts, and I mean, so many skaters in Porto Alegre have looked up at this building and just wondered, you know, like, is this architect a skater? Why is it the perfect transition? Well, I shouldn't say perfect, because everything about this transition is scary. It's big, super sized. You know, maybe if King Kong was a skateboarder, this would be a different story, but the only one to ever step to this, Sandro Dias, and basically this sweeping wall, you know, it makes the shape of quarter pipe. It's nicknamed, probably not just by skaters, but the ultimate skate ramp. And of course, leave it to Brazil. I mean, this is a skateboarding country. They love skateboarding, they love their skaters. And they've got a global superhero now in Sandro Dias. So if you see the blue portion towards the bottom, it's only just the only thing we had to fabricate just to make sure that there was enough room for Sandro to roll out. And I love this, the phrase urban legend made real. And Sandro Dias turning skate culture dreams into reality. You know, there has been some viral videos, some hoaxes in the past. I'm sure a lot of illustrations and photoshopping of people dropping into this thing, but trust us, this is not AI. This is all real. It's happening in real time, live. Red Bull building drop, history already made multiple times, and we're about to see something beyond the realm of what could have ever been imagined in skateboarding until now. A 70-meter drop. So Sandro, who's been doing this for decades, all the accolades, hundreds of contest wins, probably thousands of feet in the air if you add up all the airs he's done in his long skateboarding life. Known for doing some of the best 540s ever still. I mean, at 50 years old, he could still mix it up with the young bucks in any event that he entered. First skater to ever land a 900 in competition. Just adding one of the most impossible tricks ever done into your contest run. That's what Sandro does. And you hear the praise and the respect given to Sandro by Tony Hawk, you know, by Ryan Sheckler, street skaters, vert skaters, mega skaters. I think the consensus has been that if anybody could have done something like this, Sandro Dias. We've seen huge moments in skateboarding. I mean, you can't think of skateboarding achievements in this magnitude without thinking of Tony Hawk's loop. Danny Way jumping the Great Wall of China. You can really count things like this that have happened in skateboarding on one hand. So if you look closely at the Red Bull logo you're seeing on your screen right now, you can see the seams of this wood. So these are just basically standard plywood put together to cover the concrete surface beneath, which was kind of weathered and cracked. So trust us when we say it's still pure skateboarding. This is the same type of wood that you would find at any skate park, or any half pipe around the world. And here's a view from the top. Oh, it just makes your stomach drop when you look over the edge like that. Give it up to the crew on the roof, putting in the work. And of course our camera team on site, our drones in the air, these GoPro angles are giving us some vertigo moments here. Oh, can you imagine that feeling of going over the edge there? So Sandro has entered the building. And here he is. Skateboarding's superhero, Sandro Dias. Already multiple world records broken. And he's about to attempt an incredible 70-meter drop here at Red Bull building drop. He's wasting no time. Hands off the board. He's gonna grab the Red Bull helmet. Final preparations right now for something that no one ever thought was possible in the world of skateboarding. One last gear check, straps the helmet on tight. So 3 perfect drops behind him, and 1 more to go, the 70-meter mark. So at 65 meters, Sandro went 95 kilometers per hour. We could potentially see Sandro break 100 kilometers per hour. Tell us in the chat, do you think we're about to see this skateboarder go over 100 kilometers per hour? That's how fast you'd be driving on the freeway here in California. So think about that speed. Next time you're driving down the freeway in the fast lane, roll down the window, put your arm outside. That's how it would feel to go as fast as Sandro is about to go. This is a moment right here. Sandro visualizing the physical forces that he's about to feel, dropping in from 70 meters. GoPro angle from his helmet is going to be incredible, terrifying. All the feelings. Sandro Dias is about to go where no skateboarder has ever gone before. And you just hear silence from the crowd. One last walk up those stairs for Sandro Dias. Safety check by the crew as Sandro now rappels into history. Another world record attempt, 70 meters. Not just Sandro's highest drop ever, but the highest drop we've ever seen in skateboarding history. Rappelling down to a 70-meter drop-in point. He's got to be feeling the energy from the crowd below. Sandro's about to answer all of our questions. Is it possible to drop in from 70 meters on a skateboard? Is it possible to go over 100 kilometers per hour? Here's that moment, no turning back as he's unstrapped from his harness. Now it's just Sandro versus the drop. The entire city of Porto Alegre, Brazil, cheering Sandro Dias as he's about to make another world record attempt from 70 meters here at Red Bull Building Drop. Sandro Dias, he's done it. A new world record, 70 meters. An incredible moment for a skateboarding superhero. Sandro Dias has just dropped in to the history books. 70 meters, the highest ever drop in by a skateboarder. And you know, he had to have broken the speed record as well. So far, officially, one new world record with 70 meters for Sandro Dias. You can just feel the emotions pouring out, doing something that no human being has ever done before on a skateboard. And you can almost hear and feel the collective relief and energy and excitement from the entirety of the skate world who's watching right now. And not just bravery, but the ultimate skill to be able to maintain his composure and stay in control. Parabéns. Congratulations, Sandro Dias. The Red Bull building drop 2025 in the history books yet again. Also has to be some kind of new record for records broken in the span of a half hour. Sandro just broke his own record multiple times. Give this man his moment.
Aquela rampa azul não acaba nunca, cara, que você topa ela. Vem, Sandro! É trovão! É um Sander! Caraca, e aí, Joe? Nossa Senhora!
The imagination, the dream Sandro Dias had when in the 1980s when he was a child.
Gabriel Maia, papai tá bem, feliz pra caramba. E é pra vocês também aí, eu sei que vocês estão com o coraçãozinho apertado, viu? Mas deu tudo certo. E agora eu vou ser sincero. Eu vou parar, eu acho que eu cheguei no limite. E eu acho que vou parar por aqui porque acho que já foi bom demais. A gente sabe que tem muitas coisas que compõem todo esse cenário. Primeiro é a rampa, que é uma coisa que nunca existiu antes. Uma mistura de muita velocidade, muita força G. A condição climática, está muito vento. Nessa eu quase parei lá em cima um tempo porque estava ventando demais, então estava perigoso.
This project has been. This ramp is something that's never been created or attempted before.
Bastante já. Eu tô satisfeito, sério mesmo, galera. Tô satisfeitíssimo, satisfeitíssimo. Eu acho que isso provou que a gente consegue superar na hora que a gente quiser. Eu nunca esperava que fosse dropar uma rampa de, sei lá, 70 metros, sei lá quanto tem isso aí, mais de 70 metros. Tô feliz. Obrigado a todo mundo que acompanhou. Todo mundo aí, minha mãe e meu pai, que devem estar coração com a mamãe também.
Happy he is with the result that
Mas você sabe que eu me preparei para isso.
Proved to the world that it can be done.
Vocês podem ter certeza que tudo que eu fiz foi muito pior que isso. Por isso que eu estava muito seguro lá em cima. Mas a gente tem que saber também a hora da gente parar. A gente já quebrou muitos limites, muitos recordes. E a hora da gente parar, a gente tem que saber também porque até onde eu estava, qualquer vacilo chega a ser risco de morte. Então, vamos preservar a nossa vida. Eu acho que tá excelente aonde a gente chegou. E eu estou muito feliz. Acho que todo mundo deve estar também muito feliz. Acho que agora é só comemorar. Pelo menos eu parei com acerto e não com erro. Acho que se parasse com erro ia ser muito pior. Eu acho que isso é a glória, parar com acerto. Obrigado, Papai do Céu, por me iluminar esse tempo todo, durante todo esse processo, durante todos esses dias.
He's very proud of what he just achieved, and
é um sonho de mais de 13
basically
anos.
saying that 70 meters potentially the limit.
E superando limites e, enfim, obrigado a todo mundo que me ajudou.
You can feel the raw emotion coming from Sandro now.
Aos patrocinadores, a Prada, que estava do lado da gente o tempo todo, a Honda, a Gerdau, a toda a equipe da Yupi, Darcy, toda a sua equipe, minha família, me deu todo o suporte o tempo todo. A galera que veio do Red Bull Global. Tom,
Sandro thanking Red Bull, thanking Prada, thanking everyone involved, the crew,
mídia, enfim.
The media,
sinceramente não é fácil, a galera
his friends, his support staff, top of the building.
Desde do outro dia até hoje. Mudaram-se os caras, mas a segurança
and he's
foi a mesma.
thanking all of you for watching all over the world.
A tranquilidade que eles me dão para chegar onde eu chego ali, eu nunca tinha feito rapel. Isso acabou se tornando uma coisa normal, porque os caras me deixaram, os caras fizeram se tornar uma coisa normal para mim. Então, obrigado a todo mundo, tá? Props, é nóis.
Thanking the rigging team, the rigging person on top of the platform who rappelled with him to those platforms.
A turma ali, ó, dá uma rodada na turma, pelo amor de Deus, tem muita gente aqui em volta de mim. Diegão.
There's a man that
que virou irmãozaço.
Earned himself a proper celebration.
Darcião, além de cunhado, me deu toda a segurança também. É, né, Darcião? Chega aí, vai. Agradecer o governo do Rio Grande do Sul que liberou essa
just giving some respect and thank you to the safety director, which gave a hug too. Sandro's life was literally in his hands, and
como motivação para que apareçam mais pessoas andando de skate, mais oportunidade para o skate e que o governo ajude cada vez mais o skate daqui do estado. Agradecer a galera lá da pista do... Como chama a pista da Orla? Galera da pista da Orla, Rádio Orla,
saying this ramp is a piece of art and how happy he is to be part of the progression of skateboarding.
Ai, quem mais? Agradecer a família Cury, que liberou a pista lá pra gente andar. O pessoal lá do aeroporto de Curitiba, como chama o aeroporto de Curitiba? Enfim. Valeu, turma. É isso. Eu não sei quanto tempo a gente tem que falar, tem mais pra falar, tem mais coisa pra falar?
Você que manda,
fico falando, mas eu vou sentar, vou começar a contar a história então pra vocês. Vocês mal sabem o tanto que eu fiz pra chegar até aqui. E confesso que não foi nada fácil desde a primeira vez. Tudo que eu fiz pra participar desse dia aqui de hoje foi tudo novo pra mim, independente se eu tava em cima do skate, mas eram tudo coisas novas. Desde o teste de velocidade, eu precisava atingir uma velocidade de, sei lá, 125 por hora, eu atingi uma velocidade nos testes de 136. Teste de força G, que eu precisava suportar uma força G, que vocês viram ali que minha perna dá um... Para 350 quilos eu superei 386. E o impacto, que esse aqui eu tava tão emocionado que eu nem sei como eu pulei, que acho que eu pulei tudo errado, mas graças a Deus não aconteceu nada. Deu tudo certo. E é isso, pessoal. Obrigado.
So Sandro will not go any higher today, thankfully. That was a lot for all of us around the world to take, but he is just so happy and excited and proud of doing something that no human has ever done on a skateboard. 70 meters. That is a record that will stand for forever, most likely.
Eu acho que esse foi um grande feito, e a visibilidade que a gente teve através do skate, através da minha pessoa, acho que acaba ajudando todo mundo, e essa que é a ideia. Não é Sandro Dias, não é fama, não é nada, é superar os limites e dar oportunidade para as pessoas também. E eu acho que uma das coisas mais importantes, o recado mais importante que eu tenho para dar é para as pessoas nunca desistirem dos sonhos. Como eu disse antes, esse era um sonho que eu tinha há mais de 13 anos, e por várias vezes eu coloquei em cima da mesa da Red Bull para a gente realizar isso aqui. E sabendo da grandiosidade, eu sabia que era possível de realizar, mas era quase impossível de ser realizado. Por conta de custo, por conta de... Enfim, por conta de um todo que se transformou nessa estrutura. Mas graças a Deus eles foram sonhadores comigo, acreditaram no meu sonho e a gente realizou com todo o sucesso possível. Então nunca desista do sonho de vocês, por mais impossível que... Se for um sonho possível, não desista, por mais longe que ele possa estar de você. Sempre lembre dele, sempre coloque ele na mesa, sempre tente convencer alguém para ajudar você a fazer se você não conseguir realizar sozinho. E foi isso que aconteceu comigo. Então, obrigado Red Bull, obrigado a toda a equipe da Red Bull Global, Red Bull Brasil. E é isso aí. Vamos para a próxima.
Sandro, once again saying, obrigado, thank you, Red Bull, thank you, Brazil. Thanking all the fans around the world who've been watching. I'm sure everyone out there, no doubt, inspired, maybe not to drop in on a building, but to go skate, to go do this sport, this thing, this beautiful activity. If you have access to a skateboard right now, I'm not speaking for Sandro, but I'm sure he would tell you to go skateboarding today.
So years in the making, decades of planning, 10 months of actual construction and pre-planning paid off. A historic day in skateboarding. And Sandro Dias, two-time world record holder, tallest skateboard drop and reaching the fastest speed skateboarding on a temporary quarter pipe. And that right there is an epic visual of a man who just not only achieved his dreams, but accomplished something that no other human on planet Earth most likely has ever thought was possible. And now let's get some words from Sandro himself.
Sandro, first of all, congratulations. Sandro, first of all, congratulations. 70 meters. It's a world record for this drop. And in the Red Bull drop building. Describe for us your journey and completed this attempt now and how you're feeling about it.
I'm totally I feel really happy. Really, I don't know. I have so much energy from everybody come here to watch live. There is so many people on the street, and this made me big motivation to keep going, keep going. I'm very excited. Oh my God, I can't describe how I'm feeling right now, but the feeling is really great. I want to say thank you to everybody that supported me. This whole journey was super hard to get here, and because I did so many different things. Everything that I did, it was the first time in my life to do this project, but I'm very happy to know the time to stop as well. And I stopped very high. I never tried that high before. The 64 point something I did a few weeks ago, but this time it was a little higher, but 70 was the first time. And I think the limit for me and for the whole thing that's going on right now, like the climb, the weather, wind, everything, turn this thing, start to get dangerous. So I had to stop it, but I stopped really happy because I knew that I did something really amazing, not only for me, but for the skateboard ever, you know, for the skateboard around the world. So I think everybody is really happy. This is for everybody. It's not only for me. It's just to skateboard enjoy another thing that we did. So many different people, so many different skaters. They did so many different things to make this happen, different ways. And this is my part of the history, and try to help the skateboard somehow.
Congratulations again, Sandro.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Woohoo!
Trocar de lata com você.
Okay.
A gente está ao vivo ainda? A gente está ao vivo ainda?